My name's Tori. I was raised in church. I was always around a good Christian family. You know, my grandpa was an evangelist, mom, dad, both went to church. But at 16, I became pregnant. I mean, when you're 16, you think you're invincible, you think nothing will ever happen to you, but that's just not the case. We had dated on and off for 2 years, and it was just not a good relationship. I had no business being in the relationship, but kind of stuck around and ended up pregnant. I called him, after I found out and said, I just wanted to let you know that I'm pregnant, and he hung up the phone. I just remember going to my mom, and I was terrified to tell her anything. All I could do was cry. I was too scared to tell my grandparents anything, just for fear of disappointment. So my mom and dad told them for me. I felt selfish because I knew I was so young. I knew that my baby may not have everything that another baby might have, and I just felt depressed. And obviously not all parties in my life were supportive of my pregnancy, so it just made me feel like giving up. There were people in my life at the time that were encouraging abortion, but that was just not an option for me. I never wanted an abortion. I knew from the moment I was pregnant that life was the only option. I texted the youth pastor at my church and I told him, I messed up. I'm afraid to come around. And he told me, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. We want you here. So I continued to go to church while I was pregnant. I was super depressed. This was a dark time for me, and all I knew was to turn to God to pull me through, and he did. Not saying that it was always easy or that I always felt his presence, but something did click in our relationship. She mentioned that you guys got this new expensive 4D ultrasound machine and asked me if I wanted to, be a part of that and have an ultrasound done. So I did, and it was an amazing experience. I mean, hearing a heartbeat that's inside of you is just beautiful. The center gave me so many things, like clothes. I remember getting an abundance of things, and I remember the name, the Knights of Columbus. I remember them giving me stuff as well. And then after I had Jordan, there was a time where I needed a more expensive formula for her. I had quit breastfeeding, I just had issues with that, but you guys gave me the formula I needed for her since I couldn't afford it. I did not cry at first, from pain or anything like that. I had my epidural, finally had Jordan, but when I saw her for the first time, I immediately just lost it. I named her Jordan Elaine Trockelman. She was born November 28, 2011, at 9:43 in the morning. She was 8 pounds, 4 ounces, and 21 3/4 inches long. I thought she was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life. I still think that. I feel like Jordan has changed my perspective of God, because before I had her, I felt like I needed to run and hide if I made a mistake or if I had disappointed him. But, when I saw her for the first time and I saw how much I loved her, it really opened my eyes to the Father's love for us. So Jordan, she changed everything for me. I tell a lot of people she's like my Romans 8:28 coming to life. God works all things together for good, and she was the good that came out of that for me. Just because sin is a mistake doesn't mean that a baby's a mistake, and I never look at her like that.